Are we doing one? Yeah.
Right, Gareth sorting his life out while I press the record.
I've got to sort out in my life. I'm just working.
A man that wears plenty of hats, guys. Welcome to the Gad himself, Gareth A. Davies. One of my favourites in boxing journalism, actually. So welcome back to you.
Your favourite in boxing journalism.
That's what I said. One of
to me all these years. You've been telling me fibs.
No, I haven't. One of my favourites. I've got a few.
Go on, name them.
No.
In order.
No.
No, go on, name them 1 to 5. Yeah, I'm going to interview you now. This is what I do. Right, how many have you got? How many favourites have you got?
More than fingers and toes.
Okay, right. Name me your top 20 in the boxing and MMA media.
MMA, I can't answer that one.
Stand in front of here.
I'm not standing in front of the camera. No, Gareth, you are not dictating this. This is my interview, and I am discussing with you what's going on today.
Name me your top 5 then.
No.
Name me your top 5.
No. Gareth A. Davies, welcome to October Red. We are here.
You're not restarting the intro. We're having
God.
all of that in here.
Do I edit out? Anyway. Do I edit out?
We work together anyway, don't we, sometimes?
We do, even though you haven't called me up lately and I felt a bit abandoned.
I'm sorry, I will call you very soon and we'll do some work together.
Anyway, let's
charge you for this today.
The press conference.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that. I like it, but your words.
Well, I was fascinated to see if Wardley and Adeleye would go at it today. Obviously, they've been told strictly no shenanigans today, no hands going. Obviously, Wardley suffered a cut.
Still there as well, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a mark. Yeah, but I didn't see it as serious enough for the fight to be off. Glad the British and Commonwealth heavyweight titles are on the line. It could well steal the show. I don't think it'll go 12 rounds. I see Adeleye as a marginal favourite in this fight. I think they're both up for it. You look at me like you see Wardley as a marginal favourite.
See, yeah, and I want to know your rationale to why you think Adeleye is.
More experience, Adeleye. I think he's come on a lot in the last 18 months. I think he's had his poor performance and he's come through that. It's a pick-em. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if either man won. I don't think it'll go the distance. If it does, they both said to me, if it goes the distance, we haven't done our job properly. I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited about the prospect of 6 heavyweight fights on the card, 3 or 4 guys in the top 10 in the world. I'm a big fan of Arslanbek Makhmudov. I think he's number 5 with the WBC. Obviously, he's on the card. Have you seen the size of the man?
Yep.
He is a very, very big guy. And thankfully, he's starting to do the right things now, like calling out Tyson Fury and getting involved in the mix. A very nice man. I've interviewed him a couple of times. Martin Bacoli on the card, Joseph Parker, Moses Itauma. It's a big night. Even Jack McGann, who I know his dad. I'm a big fan of Jack's. Former MMA fighter. He's fighting Roberto Duran Jr. Did you not know that? Yeah, Roberto Duran Jr. is on the card. His dad's there in his corner. The great Manos de Piedra, Roberto Duran, hands of stone. Really looking forward to being out there. And, you know, here we are in the heart of Whitehall today, the former MI5 headquarters, the internal secret service for Great Britain, the government, and great venue, amazing building. The guys comported themselves correctly today, and really looking forward to the fight.
I'm going to rewind there. You said that you believe that David Adeleye can possibly edge it because of experience. When you talk about that experience, and I'm going to compare it to Fabio, elaborate on that, because I would have said that Fabio's got more experience with better seasoned boxers.
Yeah, as a pro, but David Adelaye's had a longer time in the sport, but more of an amateur pedigree. I've seen him come on. I've been around both guys for a couple of 3 years now, and I think Adelaye's ready for this challenge. I think he's grown up as a man. I think he's always been he's a giant human being, but he's always been the baby in his family. I don't know if you know that. He's the baby of all the children. And I've noticed a change in him. I've spent time in depth with him, and I believe his story. I like the way he's going away to Miami to train. They both got a lot to prove. They both got a lot to prove as to whether they can go beyond European level and be genuine challengers for a world title. But this takes me back many years when George Groves and James DeGale fought at this kind of stage in their careers, both undefeated, both on a crossroads as to can we get world rankings from here. So there's a lot on the line for both men, and there's a lot on the line because of the size of this promotion as well, and how it's going to be beamed around the world, and the promotion towards the event. Look at the poster today, extraordinary. It's a big fight for both men.
We can talk about just the posters. However, the promotional video that's recently come out. Talk to us about that, Gareth, and the scale. Obviously, the main event itself with Ngannou and Fury
around the world. Yeah, all the way to China. The quality and the effort and the perspicacity, the meticulousness that these have been put together shows, as Frank Warren's always said, we are being involved here in a game changer with big boxing going to Saudi Arabia, heavyweight boxing, particularly at the moment. I'm sure they'll invest in the stars of the future. You know, we're hearing that there will be a guest list like no other from the world of boxing out there, League of Champions out there. It's going to be an extraordinary week, and I expect there to be a genuine resonance through the week and a growth in the actual event itself, the whole event, and the opening of Riyadh season. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think 6 heavyweight fights on the card, the present, the future. I expect Alexander Usyk will be there. It wouldn't surprise me to see Alexander Usyk in the ring afterwards with Tyson Fury, maybe an announcement. There's talk about December the 23rd. So it's going to be a really, really big week.
One thing I want to ask you, you've been around Frank Warren for years, a person that's interviewed him countless times. There's something about him. He has managed to stay relevant through decades. We talk about promoters. We see promoters come and go. We see promoters do really well, slip down. But Frank's managed to maintain that over years. How does he do it?
He's a winner. He's a survivor. He knows the sport inside out. He grafts. He builds fighters from the bottom up. He's just, like I said, the biggest thing about Frank is he's a survivor and a winner, and he's a competitor, and he's never been any different. I've had my rows with him over the years. You're either with him or against him. He's that kind of character. He's from a tough Islington neighbourhood. He's brought up tough. He's a classy person, a classy man, and you know, I'd like to say we've become friends over the years, but we're colleagues as well. We've had a few rows down the years, but we're both involved in the same business, and you don't always agree. I didn't agree. It was a low blow against Alexander Usyk from Daniel Dubois, and he gave me shit for a week on DMs, but you know, that's life. But I have tremendous respect for him, and I feel the same back.
The business move between, obviously, Queensberry and the Saudis. Talk to us about that relationship forming, because it seemed as if, obviously, with Skills Challenge, that was, you know, the big thing. Alexander Usyk had signed with Skills Challenge, and then all of a sudden, it just disappeared. And then you've got Frank, you've got Bob Arum, and one of the kings from the country. Talk to us about that relationship, forming that, and now he's got that key relationship over in Saudi.
Well, my understanding is that, obviously, His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh and the Saudi government, the General Entertainment Authority, wanted to get properly involved in boxing. They knew that Frank Warren had a stable of heavyweights. The biggest star in the boxing world is Tyson Fury. There's no question about it. He brings the biggest bag of tricks, if you like. Heavyweight boxing commands the attention like nothing else. And I think they just developed a relationship, and I think they saw boxing as a great way of opening the Riyadh season. It's a huge investment into wanting to bring other cultures to the Middle East, to Saudi Arabia. And I think that they're leaving no stone unturned in wanting to invest in that. They want to open their society. They want to open their country up. They want it to become a destination for us. And I think that all fits into that plan. I think they want an Olympic and Paralympic Games. They want a World Cup. So there's investment at every level. And as we've seen, like you say, about the promotion, the quality of filming, the Nick Knight, the artist, doing the design on the poster of Fury Ngannou as two kings, the blue and red corner, just the general level. They're very serious about it. I've just spoken to Frank just now for the Battle of the Baddest podcast that I'm doing a series of 12 podcasts on the event. And he was saying, I wasn't lying to you, was I, when I said that this is a game changer? It's definitely a game changer. I go back to the days when Las Vegas was the big destination, when Madison Square Garden was the big destination, Wembley Stadium, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Cardiff, they became big destinations for boxing. Right now, the big destinations for the big fights is the Middle East, and the Saudi Arabians recognise that, and they want to be involved, and that's it. I mean, you know, there is a paradigm shift in wanting to invest in. We've seen it with Formula One, with golf, with football. There is a serious investment in those areas. I see it as a meeting of West and East, and I think it's a brilliant thing. And I want to see cultures, countries, colours, creeds coming together.
What do you think about, why would you say then that His Excellency has chose to work with Frank? What is it about Frank why they really want to work with him and his fighters?
Well, it's with Frank, it's with Bob Arum. I mean, I think it's of Top Rank. It's the stable they've got. They've got Fury. They've got Fury, and Fury's heading towards a fight with Alexander Usyk.
Okay.
As they've clearly worked with Alexander Krasiuk, Usyk's manager and promoter, and got him on board as well. Because heavyweight boxing, I think His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh is a huge boxing fan. The history of the heavyweight division hasn't been lost on him, and they know that the undisputed heavyweight title fight is an enormous event globally. So that's what they want. They want this first to open the season, and it wouldn't surprise me to see Fury against Usyk either this side of this year or maybe early next year. Wouldn't surprise me to see Conor McGregor fighting in a UFC event over there at some point. Just would not surprise me at all, because they have the funds to pay these guys. Money, or timing, ego, and money has always been the watchwords of the heavyweight division, and this is the time. Yes, we've maybe waited too long for an undisputed title, but I can absolutely see it happening very soon.
And finally from me, where does this leave the likes of Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder, also key parts of the heavyweight division? Yeah,
well, I mean, Deontay Wilder, I've said it for a long time, there's 5 massive fights from over here. Get over here, to get away from America, fight over here. Joe Joyce, Zhili Zhang, Anthony Joshua, Alexander Usyk, Daniel Dubois, all these fights could happen over here. Because whenever he's been over here, Deontay's a massive star over here. He's treated like a rock star. I think he's a phenomenal character. That's Deontay. And Anthony Joshua, I spoke with Eddie Hearn about this on Saturday night. If I was his promoter, I'd keep him unbeaten till Fury and Usyk have fought. Because if Fury comes through that 1 or 2 fights, Fury against Joshua, if Joshua's unbeaten in 2 more fights, even if it's people that he's expected to win against, cans or whatever, it's still a big fight. And I think the fans would still turn out for it. You may not agree with me. That's not what I necessarily want.